Subscribe now.
Indiana's 4 of 5 from long range. Durant's got 11. Craig goes down. He's got a highlight. KD.
Kevin Durant has had one of the most astounding NBA careers of all time. The former MVP and two-time NBA Finals MVP has one of the most profound work ethics in sports, and it all started with a vision he had at a very young age. You may or not know the facts below. In either case, enjoy the video. This is the story of Kevin Durant. 1. Kevin Durant wanted to be an NBA star from the age of 11, and he never wavered. He was raised by his mother Wanda in the Washington, D.C. area. His father's presence in his life was minimal, and he grew close to his mother over time. She was largely a single mom who raised 4 kids by herself while working at the post office. And when Kevin told her he wanted to make it to the NBA, she said if that's what he wanted, then he should go ahead and chase that dream. But she was going to push him to greatness. Wanda Durant had a key influence on Kevin and his work ethic, recalling that if Durant's coaches asked him to make 25 free throws, she would ask him for 100. She wasn't going to let anything slow her son down on the way to his dream. 2. KD was 6 feet tall by the time he was in 6th grade, which helped him to perform at a high level in high school basketball games. He wanted to compete with the very best and attended 3 separate high schools to maintain the level of competition he wanted to play amongst week in and week out. In fact, Durant has spoken about his decision to move between high schools, a philosophy that has also played a part in his somewhat controversial free agency decisions in the NBA. He told Draymond Green in an interview that he felt like he was developing so fast that he wanted to test himself in a new environment at a young age to see how far he could go. He's applied the same philosophy to maneuvering his way around the NBA, most recently with the Phoenix Suns. He spent 2 years in high school at the National Christian Academy before moving to Oak Hill Academy in Virginia, and then transferring for his senior season to play at Montrose Christian School in Maryland, one of the best high school basketball programs in the country. 3. Durant's high school career didn't come without some silverware. He was one of the best high school prospects in the nation, and at the end of his senior year, he was awarded the Washington Post's 2006 All-Met Basketball Player of the Year. He was invited to the McDonald's All-American game that year, featuring the likes of Chase Budinger and Greg Oden, who Durant would encounter multiple times during his rise to the NBA. Durant was named the MVP of the All-American game, and by that point, his sensational talents and tall frame had attracted national attention. Durant had stood out while playing in AAU events and All-Star games, and the nation's best collegiate programs came calling. 4. Kevin Durant received offers from every prestigious school in the nation. He was offered to go and play at Duke under legendary Coach K, who would later coach him with Team USA once he turned pro. KD had a real decision to make. He could have gone to Duke, Kentucky, UNC, and many other programs. He was originally keen on the idea of going to play at North Carolina. Many of his friends were heading there, but Durant felt the basketball roster was heavily stacked, and they had strong seniors who would likely play ahead of him, so he looked elsewhere. When he decided to attend the University of Texas and play for the Longhorns, KD decided he wanted to go somewhere new and create his own legacy rather than attach his name to a long list of talented players that had gone through some of the biggest programs in the country. He committed to the Longhorns, and his freshman year would become everything it was anticipated to be. 5. Kevin Durant won every award there was to win in 2007 while playing for the Texas Longhorns. When he arrived, no freshman had ever won any of the prestigious National Player of the Year awards in the history of the NCAA, signifying just how remarkable Durant's freshman year was. Durant averaged 25.8 points per game, 11.1 rebounds, 1.3 assists, 1.9 steals, and 1.9 blocks per game, while maintaining a 40% three-point percentage in 35 games for the Longhorns. He was recognized as the unanimous National Player of the Year and won the John R. Wooden Award, the Naismith College Player of the Year Award, along with 8 other nationally recognized trophies for his contributions that season. He was the Pac-12 Player of the Year, a consensus first-team All-American, and quickly turned his attention to the NBA. Quite simply, there was no need for Durant to stay in college. He had dominated the nation as a freshman and proven that he could take his talents to the next level without hesitation. 6. It was in the 2007 NBA draft that Durant would come up against Greg Oden once again, and this time it was for the bragging rights of being the #1 pick in the draft. The Portland Trail Blazers chose Oden, a 7-foot center from Ohio State.
With the first pick in the 2007 NBA draft, the Portland Trail Blazers select Greg Oden from Ohio State University,
leaving Kevin Durant to fall right into the hands of the Seattle Supersonics.
With the second pick in the 2007 NBA draft, the Seattle Supersonics select Kevin Durant from the University of Texas.
Durant was selected 2nd overall at just 19 years old and would see plenty of playing time as a teenage rookie. 7. Kevin Durant became one of the only teenagers during that era to average over 20 points per game, He was shooting 43% as a rookie and finished the season with 20.3 points per game, joining two other prestigious young talents in an elite category. LeBron James and Carmelo Anthony were the only other teenage players during the 2000s putting up 20-plus points a game, leading many to believe these young stars were going to become the future of the NBA. And they were right. To this day, only 5 teenagers have averaged 20-plus points in a season. Durant, LeBron, and Carmelo were 3 of them, and Zion Williamson and Luka Doncic would later join that elite group. Durant won the 2008 NBA Rookie of the Year award and was a member of the 2008 All-Rookie First Team. 8. Following his rookie season, the Seattle Supersonics owner Howard Schultz, who was the former CEO of Starbucks, sold both the Supersonics and the WNBA sister franchise, the Seattle Storm, to a group of investors from Oklahoma City. The Supersonics became the Oklahoma City Thunder, and second-year talent Kevin Durant was one of the original members of the newly rebranded franchise. Durant was an integral part of the team's first season as the Thunder. He played 39 minutes a game, scored 25.3 points per game, and added 6.5 rebounds and 2.8 assists. The Thunder slightly improved from 20-62 in 2007 in their final year as the Sonics to 23-59 in year 2. While it doesn't seem like a huge jump, they had started the season 3-29 and finished the year 20-30. Things were heading in the right direction. OKC had drafted Russell Westbrook with the 4th overall pick that season, and pretty soon, the two would form a young duo that would be headed for great things. 9. The following year, a young Oklahoma City Thunder team led by Durant and Russell Westbrook flipped the franchise's fortune on its head. They went 50-32 with a young core that was led by their 2 budding stars and 2 other names that would become key features in the NBA, James Harden and Serge Ibaka. The Thunder were storming and continued to improve as the season went on, going from around the 500 mark to a playoff contender with a late season run. They won games against the defending champion Los Angeles Lakers and kept beating good teams on the road, earning the respect around the league that they felt they deserved, and Kevin Durant was the frontrunner. Within that season, Durant had improved his scoring abilities once again, and he ended the regular season with 30.1 points, earning his first scoring title as the league's leading scorer. Not only did he win the award, but he became the youngest player in NBA history to win it, playing in every game of the 82-game season. 10. Durant wasn't satisfied with one scoring title though. He won 4, and all in the space of 5 years in the league. KD was the league's leading scorer for 3 straight seasons between 2010 and 2012. He was improving year after year as a 3-point shooter and didn't average less than 27 points per game in any of those first 3 years. He almost won the award for 5 straight years but was beaten out by New York Knicks superstar Carmelo Anthony in the 2012-2013 season by less than 1 point per game. Carmelo had a great year with the Knicks and put up 28.7 points, while Durant had 28.1, in yet another excellent year for the Thunder. 11. It wasn't just the scoring titles that started to mount up for Durant though. He received his first All-Star appearance in 2010 and would appear in the All-Star game in every year that followed until 2020. As of 2023, Durant is a 13-time NBA All-Star who has won 2 NBA All-Star Game MVPs with 6 All-NBA first-team appearances and was named a member of the NBA's 75th anniversary team. But one of his greatest accomplishments is being a member of the prestigious 50-40-90 club. Only 9 NBA players have ever managed to join the club, which requires players to hit a 50% field goal percentage, a 40% three-point percentage, and a 90% free throw percentage over the course of an entire season. Larry Bird was the first player to achieve the feat, and he, Steve Nash, and Kevin Durant are the only players in NBA history to record a 50-40-90 season more than once. Durant achieved it in 2013 with the Oklahoma City Thunder, a year in which he played 81 games. He then did so again in the 2022-2023 season, while playing 47 games for the Brooklyn Nets and Phoenix Suns. 12. Kevin Durant's hard work with OKC early in his career turned the franchise into a challenger in the Western Conference. They made it to the conference finals in 2011 and returned once again in 2012, and this time took down the San Antonio Spurs in a 4-2 series to head for the NBA Finals. Just 3 seasons removed from winning 23 games in the 2008-2009 season, the Thunder were in the finals and would face LeBron James and the Miami Heat on the big stage. The 2012 Finals was Kevin Durant's first experience of playing in a final series. He averaged over 30 points in the series, and while the Thunder lost 4-1, Durant received a lot of recognition for his talents, and was heavily compared to LeBron James as 2 of the greats in the NBA at the time. He came back the next year frustrated with the loss, and helped the Thunder win 60 games in the regular season, setting up a 2013-2014 campaign for the ages. 13. In the 2013-2014 season, Durant had the most productive year of his NBA career. LeBron James had just won the MVP in 2013, having had one of the best individual seasons of all time, and after snatching the NBA championship from Durant in 2012, the Thunder superstar was getting tired of coming in second. Durant played in 81 games and set a new career high with 32 points per game, while playing without the other half of his duo in Russell Westbrook for a large portion of the season. James Harden had been traded to the Houston Rockets by this point. Westbrook was battling injuries, and the rest of the 2013-2014 2014 Thunder roster was less than satisfactory, to say the least, and yet Durant led them to 59 wins and a return to the playoffs. Kevin Durant became the first player since Michael Jordan in the late 80s to average 32 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists in a complete season, and was awarded the league's MVP award. 14. Most people already know about this one, but Kevin Durant used his MVP speech in 2014 to recognize the support he'd had throughout his life from his mother. Durant spoke of her sacrifice to make sure he and his siblings were fed and had a place to sleep, which often meant his mother Wanda went without eating herself. Having raised her family largely on her own, Durant emotionally stated that she was the real MVP in what is now one of the most heartfelt and emotional moments in the history of the NBA.
You went to sleep hungry. You sacrificed for us. You the real MVP.
15. Kevin Durant's relationship with Nike dates all the way back to 2007, and he has his own shoe brand with the KD range. The Nike Zoom KD1 was released in 2008 as the first signature shoe collaborated with Durant during his partnership with the brand. Recently, he and Nike made headlines by tying the knot, signing a lifetime deal with Nike, making him just the third player in NBA history to have a lifetime shoe deal. The other two, which are hardly surprising, are Michael Jordan and LeBron James. 16. Kevin Durant's free agency signing with the Golden State Warriors in 2016 is among the most controversial decisions in recent memory. The Oklahoma City Thunder had just featured in the Western Conference Finals against a star-studded Warriors team featuring Splash Bros Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. The Thunder had taken a 3-1 lead against the defending champions before squandering it to lose the series 4-3, and the Warriors moved on to the NBA Finals. At the time, the Warriors were the team to beat in the West, and LeBron James had built a powerhouse as a member of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Many believed KD and the Thunder were the team that would put an end to the Warriors' reign in the Western Conference. But after falling short in 2016, instead of retooling with the Thunder, Durant decided to join the Warriors instead. His decision was met with plenty of ridicule, as many believed he was taking an easy way out and joining an already dominant franchise, rather than trying to leave his own legacy as the frontrunner of his own franchise. He very quickly saw success with the Warriors too, but he was far from a joyrider over the next couple of years at Golden State. 17. Sure, the Warriors had been to the NBA Finals in each of the last 2 seasons. KD joining a team that was already capable of winning a championship made it seem unfair, and to absolutely nobody's surprise, they made the finals again in each of the following 2 seasons. However, Durant didn't play a supporting role to Steph and Klay in those finals, far from it. He was the guy, and he dominated the finals in back-to-back years. In 2017, the Warriors faced LeBron and the Cavs once again, giving Durant the opportunity for redemption from the 2012 series, in which they met while playing for the Thunder and the Heat. Durant responded by averaging a stunning 35.2 points per game in the series, with 8.2 rebounds and 5.4 assists, and was named the Finals MVP as the Thunder took down the Cavs 4-1. The following year, he came back and did it again, with 28.8 points per game in a 4-game sweep of the Cavs, earning his second consecutive MVP. He is one of just 6 players to earn back-to-back Finals MVPs, along with Kobe, Shaq, MJ, LeBron, and Hakeem Olajuwon. 18. Kevin Durant has more hobbies than just collecting MVP awards. He's also a keen photographer. In fact, he was invited by the Players Tribune to attend Super Bowl 50 with a media credentials pass to take photos at the NFL championship game. He discovered how difficult it is to get great action photos and talked of how you have to keep your wits about you while trying to take pictures with all the action going on right in front of you on the field. Who would have thought the former Thunder forward was on the sidelines at a Super Bowl game taking high-quality snaps? He said he earned a new level of respect for sports photographers and the level of skill required to get the best shots. 19. While Durant respects the life of the sports photographers, his relationship with the media has been quite rocky since his MVP season. He quickly fell out with the media at team interviews and publicly defended teammate Russell Westbrook when he was receiving heavy criticism at OKC. As time has gone on, the relationship has continued to fray, with Durant making several comments about only sitting in press conferences because he has to, and how the media are not his friends and will write what they want to write regardless. With his experience in the league came an ever-regressing level of patience for the media, and in 2019, he claimed he doesn't trust them. While he's not quite on the level of Marshawn Lynch, Durant is far from a media darling these days. That said, he did take matters into his own hands on social media when he had a burner account in order to defend himself on Twitter. He was rumbled when he forgot to switch accounts once and tweeted a response about him saying he didn't like the organization or playing for Billy Donovan in the third person. Oops. Whether Durant has a new burner account is currently unknown, but people will always be suspicious of overly supportive tweets. 20. While Durant doesn't like to attribute much energy to the mainstream media, he does put plenty of focus into his philanthropy. Durant started the Kevin Durant Foundation to support at-risk kids growing up in low-income situations, and has done a lot of work to help get them an education and address homelessness and poverty. Not only that, Durant has also made several large donations to charitable organizations, such as the Tulsa Dream Center, the
11.
2007 Draft.
Durant was broke. But since he had the chances to be the #1 overall pick, every brand in the world wanted to sign him. We're talking about brands like Converse, Adidas, Jordans, and even Nike. This was KD's first opportunity to get his hands on some real money. But just days before pre-draft workouts, KD narrowed the choices down to two. Adidas was offering him a 7-year contract for $70 million, plus a $12 million signing bonus. KD went back to Nike to ask if they would match, but they told him they would only go as high as 60 with no bonus. And this man signed with them anyway. KD was looking at his first big check, and he turned down over 20 mil. KD really is just different. Or maybe he really can see the future. But the
12.
High school, he had a secret he didn't tell anyone about. My boy KD was seeing someone on the low. We all know that KD is a private guy, but this was taking it to a whole new level. He kept this baddie secret for years. Durant was sneaking back to her place after games and flying her out on private jets to Oklahoma City. But in 2014, everything changed. After KD won MVP, his confidence skyrocketed. Shortly after, he revealed to everyone that he had been engaged to his high school sweetheart all along, WNBA star Monica Wright. But you see, the problem was, Monica had been the one that wanted to keep things private, and she did not like the new Kevin. She was so mad that she called off their engagement and refused to talk to him. Monica said that KD made her compromise herself as a woman, and a lot of people thought I was crazy to leave, but I think God had my back. But to this day, KD still claims that he was the one that ended things. In an interview with GQ, this man said, "I just didn't know how to love her right, you know? But there's always two sides to a story, so it looks like we'll never truly know the truth." If we're being real though, KD deserves a lot of respect, and you'll understand why after you hear the tragic story of why this man wore number 35.